review this time. We're reviewing Krampus, a movie that came out on earlier during the month of December, which is a little known holiday film that's been getting a lot of buzz. So throughout this week, we're going to be doing a bunch of other reviews coming up too. So this is going to be our first one until the end of the year. Well, not until the end, until the next one comes. So we're going to sporadically spread around and watch other films and do reviews of them. So anyway, going to this film, we were looking forward to it the most because this is the first holiday film we've had in years since probably, I think, Black Christmas, where it's actually set on Christmas time. It's a horror film.
For the Christmas aspect, yeah.
Yeah, and so I was actually really Audrey. He also did another film called Trick or Treat, which was also a holiday film set on Halloween.
And he did that one that was recently. I think that was him, wasn't it?
No, he didn't do Tales of Halloween. Okay. No, but so you can tell that the from the trailer alone, it really shows that this director has a lot of vision for the holiday and everything. So I got really into it, and I got really hyped for it. And much to my surprise,
I got hyped for it. The only thing I went in this film that worried me, and we'll get into more of that, is I was scared for the rating.
The PG-13.
I'm not a big horror fanatic when something's based out of horror and it being PG-13, so I'll get into more of that, but I'm going to tell you when I started out, I was afraid of it being a failure because of the PG-13, so...
I understand that, yeah. I mean, there are films that you can tell are edited for PG-13. This one really looked like it was. Mm-hmm. But I think what their approach was that they're trying to make it more akin to more like Gremlins, where they wanted to focus more on the comedy mixed in really well because
it blended.
It actually blended very well. I mean, I know a lot of critics sometimes said that the comedy didn't really feel like it was too forced at times, but I thought it worked very well for the most part.
I was actually shocked. So we went and seen Krampus. It turned out really good.
Really good,
It was a really good movie.
Especially, coming across a lot of horror films we've seen recently, I can honestly say this is probably one of the better horror films where they spend less time relying a lot on... I mean, every now and then you'll see jump scares in the film, but they put a lot more effort into the story than they do the actual scares.
This is probably one of the best PG-13 based horror films I've seen this year.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it was. Because, like I said, I'm not a big fan of PG-13 in a horror film, but because most of the time when I do, they generally are the ghost movies, and they end up always sucking. I mean, really, in my eyes, they do. Pretty much. I don't really enjoy PG, but this one I really did. I was actually blown away. I actually enjoyed the movie. The visuals, oh my God, the visuals.
The direction is fantastic.
This is probably the way he captures the Christmas feel, like the snow and the ice and the darkness mixed with it.
Yeah.
Blended so well. Oh my God, that was probably the best visual take on a Christmas feel I've seen in all.
Me too, especially the way that he puts these shots in with the snow, and when they do the actual look of Christmas too. Like you see the whole, pretty much, if you don't know the premise, the whole town is surrounded by a blizzard storm that happens because this kid in the film makes a wish where pretty much they're taking liberties from Home Alone, where he doesn't want nothing to do with his family because his parents ignore him, they do their own thing, and then they have the really dysfunctional other family that comes in, like they're out of Christmas vacation and all that.
Yeah.
And so the kid just wants to make a wish to not believe in Santa Claus and all that and give away. And that's where the movie's themes come in, where pretty much Krampus is a figure who's the opposite of Santa Claus. He wants to turn pretty much Christmas into the opposite of what Santa Claus does. He wants to, in an ironic turn, give hope to the ones that didn't want hope to begin with.
Yeah.
And that's what it relies on.
I'd like to rewind a little bit. Going into the movie, not only did the PG-13 I was worried about, I'm going into things that worried about before I went and seen it. Was the PG-13. Now it just came to my mind. Another thing that I thought was going to be really bad that turned out actually being really good, worked good, was the cast. Known for their comedy, I was really scared going into this movie, thinking, "Oh my God, they're going to overdraw their comedy, and it's going to overshadow this movie." And I was worried about that.
Yeah, especially when you got people like Adam Scott and David Koechner and that other woman that's big on 2.5 Men.
2.5 Men. I forgot her name.
I forgot her name too. But surprisingly well, they actually acted really well too. Not just for the comedy. The comedy and the parts where they're being serious actually work well.
Yeah, they do. It does turn out
because
They acted really, really good.
I mean,
their comedy, what I respect of what they did was they kept their comedy at a minimum.
yeah,
They didn't overshadow it, which I thought they were going to do, and their comedy worked well. Like it blended in with the scenes. I thought I thought it was not going to work out really well, but it ended up being very good.
Oh, and by the way, this review, since we want to try to go into detail with this one because it does leave us with a surprise end. So there will be spoilers in this review. So if you don't want to hear anything, just turn off the video later on. But yeah, going back to the comedy I thought really worked well too, especially when you have parts when the actual little minions of Krampus show up. You see scenes where when someone says a one-liner like, he's like, "Get the fuck out of the way," or it's like.
So we're at the beginning of the movie, like he was saying, you get this family coming in, and what's really clever about that is, what was his name? David
Koshner.
What's funny is they kind of do a Christmas Story feel where he's like Eddie.
Yeah.
Where him and his family, Christmas Vacation, not story. Christmas Vacation, where he's like cousin Eddie.
Yeah.
They're worried about them because they're big fuck ups. The family is. You got annoying ass kids. You got him acting
the daughter, and annoying
which, by the way, worried the shit out of me because at the first going in the movie, I thought the pacing of that was kind of at the beginning the pacing was kind of getting really annoyed. Especially, I thought I was going to be really annoyed with his kids.
Yeah, at first I was like that too. When I saw the kids the first time, when they were just being smart asses to the main kid in the movie, Max, I was just like, oh my god, I want these fuckers to die so bad. They annoyed the shit out of me. But as the movie goes on, they actually downplay them where they cut a lot of their comedy out for the rest of the film, and they focus more on the serious stuff, which to me makes it a lot more, enhances the mood of the movie, But also, I really like, too, how they set this up, because as the film goes on later, you do see a great backstory with the grandmother. Because the grandmother brings in this story about how she was a young girl, and when she was growing up.
Yeah, which is really clever, because in that movie, what they do is they go to more of a Nightmare Before Christmas, the stop motion. So they go back in the stop motion look to it, and I was actually really impressed.
Yeah, it looked very wonderful too.
I thought that was a clever thing they did. It was because you got to think they're going back kind of like old because she's really old.
It was probably I think it was in the
like her age. She's like I think she's like 70, 80 in the movie.
So she must have been the Holocaust years, like in the 40s, I think.
Well, it's not
really established.
I'm not saying like the timeline. I'm just saying like the way they did it was because they're saying like, oh, when she's younger, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they did the stop motion because of her age. They thought it would be clever years ago. I mean, to do that look.
Yeah, and that animation was beautiful. I
thought it was really beautiful.
It was really well created, and and it really you actually see a lot more. Because it seems like you see more animation out of Krampus than you do when he actually shows up. Well, I mean, in some parts, because the way that the building suspense really work well when he actually shows up in the film. And to all those that have been bitching with the film lately, that yes, I understand people are bitching that Krampus doesn't do a lot in this film, but believe me, his presence is still in the film regardless.
Okay,
his presence in the film still works, in my opinion.
So we get to the scene, the girl disappearing and all that. What really I loved was the scene where she's walking down that street, and that's where you really get the capture of the snow on the buildings, the
and
ice,
the sound.
You get the very dark Christmas feel. You feel like you're watching a really dark Christmas movie.
And the sound too. The sound really enhances it too, especially when you hear the actual monsters show up and they do these very loud noises.
Anybody
really
who's seen
puts you in the right mood.
If you're still if you're watching this review and you've not seen the movie yet, I like this, even though it might bother. God, that movie was loud as shit.
It was
stomping. Woo!
It was. That's what I was saying. The sound design really matched up well because you can really feel his.
I felt like it was a damn earthquake in there. Boom!
Yeah,
the whole theater was.
Damn, that was fucking loud. And
which I like that because if you're gonna be a person that owns surround sound, it's gonna really make you capture the feel of the movie.
Yeah, it's gonna feel it. It's gonna make it even more scary.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that they captured. They paid attention. Not many horror films try to do that these days. But this movie really wanted to capture their sound.
They did.
As they want you to feel it. They want you to feel the movie.
Yeah.
Through the
And
sound.
not just that, but
that's what I like
it's going back to the direction too. I really love the way they built the suspense because unlike you who had problems with the pacing, I actually liked the pacing because it actually built up a lot of suspense.
No, I complain about the pacing. I'm talking as I'm going through the movie. Like I'm talking about whenever I was talking about the pacing.
Yeah.
That was at the beginning of the movie, but then it gets better as you go. Then it makes sense. I was just saying that the pacing started out kind of bad at first, but then it worked out as you see the movie.
It does.
Yeah.
But also too, I really love the performances too in the movie too. I thought the kid did well. Adam Scott was actually really good too for a serious role.
Yeah,
I could really buy him as a father who wants to protect his kids. He very downplayed a lot of his comedy in this one, and it was really interesting.
I'm glad he did, and that worked well. The girl from 2.5 Men, I cannot think of her name.
I know her name too. I just can't remember what her name was.
Well, everybody who's seen the movie that's watching the review will know her name. I'm glad she was in the movie.
She had the best line.
I think she is the most underrated comedian in Hollywood. She is not given hardly any comedic roles or any starring roles. I'd rather see her over Melissa McCarthy any day of the week. I think she is really good. I loved her comeback lines in the movie.
Her comedic timing,
timing is so good.
Like,
and she is funny. I like how she made me like. I'm really rarely like to want to laugh in a horror film, but this one I gave exception to, and when her comedic lines like were just perfect, and it just made me like enjoy the movie even further.
It did, yeah.
And especially, I was impressed.
I mean, even scenes where it's supposed to be kind of scary going on, and then all the shit's going down, she still actually managed to still be, funny. Especially when she grabs the fucking shotgun and blasts those gingerbread men.
She's like, she's got that. I don't give a fuck. Whatever happens, happens. Fuck
yeah, exactly.
Attitude. So I like that. I thought that blended with the movie.
Yeah,
really good.
She was really funny. Now
another thing I do like of this movie is I love how they captured our Christmas theme music.
That was
and they made it darker.
Yeah.
And with the score, but they take songs like Silent Night, Chestnut, and all them, and they actually remix them darker.
They do.
Or somebody who's singing it, and the composers are making them very, very dark.
Yeah.
I thought that was a clever move they did.
It was. It really. Plus, it actually builds up a lot of very scary parts too, because whenever I hear Christmas music like that, I'm kind of like, oh shit, it's going down. It actually puts you in the right atmosphere.
Yeah.
But also, I gotta get to this because this is probably some of my other favorite parts of the film.
Yeah.
I love the detail they go into the actual monsters. They look very phenomenal.
So you get into the last 25 minutes
probably.
Yeah. This is when the shit really hits the fan. They're in the house. By the way, we forgot to leave this out earlier. So whenever they're when Adam Scott and David start exploring, looking for the daughter,
and their son, his son that got lost.
Yeah,
he got
no,
it was earlier when she went on.
I'm talking about the first time they go out.
Right, that's right. When they
first go out there, they start walking through this town. And it's got ice and snow in it. Like everybody is dead, and then you get to that one creature. This is one of the little problems I had was
the deaths were a little too.
When David's
pulled down.
Yeah, there's a lot of pulling down where you don't see
the snow.
anything.
All you do is see them go in the snow where they're. You really think something's happened because you can hear sounds of what's happened, but they leave it out because the PG-13 was too soft for them. They couldn't show it. But not to be off gears here, but if they later release a version on DVD, they'll probably put in scenes where you see more detail of what they're doing under the snow.
Which I'm hoping that would explain all that massive crunching we hear, as in we're to take that he's getting ate and to come out with a scratch and leg, kind of like I was like, eh,
But then again, I can see what their intention was that because you ever heard that saying where older films when you don't see a lot, it gives
I'm not,
it gives
I'm
it
not,
more.
yeah, I'm not
It gives it
bitching about
more.
the not seeing part. I'm bitching about how they make the crunch that they're giving us the sign that he's getting ate, and he comes out with a scratch on his leg. I kind of had a little issue with that. It bothered me.
It was bloody
This
though.
goes to my reason why I wish it could have maybe. People may bash at this. Not everything has to be hard R. I'm wondering what they could have done with this movie with the R rating. Because I personally think, even though, don't get me wrong, this movie is great PG-13. I liked it a lot. It just makes me think what they could have done with R. With the blood, with the snow and the ice splattering, that could have really made that really show up pretty good. I think it could have worked out that way.
I think it could have too.
I mean, maybe, hopefully, they do an unrated R where they'll put on video.
Yeah, but
just for the people who like R, and then PG-13, you get to choose. Do you want the PG-13 version, the R rated?
Yeah, which that is actually one of the few exceptions I can see with this one.
Yeah,
because you can still have a good movie PG-13, but if you want to see a better one, like just for people that are into gore and everything, then you can release a longer version.
I'm not saying that everything has to be gore fest. I really think that this movie may have had more potential they were allowed to,
because you can tell when somebody is about to like say the F word, you can clearly tell it's dubbed out.
Could you imagine, like, say if it was hard on, you hear all the crunching as he's screaming, pulls him up and he's bit in half like the guy off Lake Placid. Yeah, and then all the guts are falling out, and then you can see the guts on the snow.
That would have been cool.
That's what I'm saying. Capturing if it was hard art, could you imagine what they could capture with the more detailed, because it had great practical effects.
It did.
Could you imagine what they could have done with practical gore?
I could see that. You could even see in the scenes where they get pulled under and see them actually getting tortured before they go to Krampus.
And getting torn apart. I'm not saying that everything has to be like that, but because I've seen Krampus and it was good PG-13, I'm wondering what they could have done with the R-rated one.
But then again, now that I think about it, though, I do think that when they actually got pulled around, maybe they weren't actually killed. Maybe they were just, they're being abducted.
Well, anyways, continue on the story. Story. Like he said, then we start seeing all these creatures come about. Basically, these kids are getting picked off one by one. Two of the kids, one of the creatures sounds like the mother, and they think the mother's up in the attic. When they go up to the attic, they get attacked. So then the family hears screaming in the background. Yeah. So whenever they hear the screaming, they go run up there, and this is when everything starts going downhill from here. This is where we get to see like all these neat creatures.
Weird Jack in the Box kind
of Jack in the Box. He's sitting there swallowing the kid up.
Well, it shows. He's a long motherfucker too, because he gets out and he's like this weird clown looking dude, and he has like this weird. He's like a snake kind of.
Well, what he is he's long, and you can actually see where it starts widening. That's his belly. And you could just think how many dead bodies are in there.
And him eating. And the little robot that comes alive.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of
Poltergeist. Yeah. And then you got the elves that come in with Krampus.
I think he had the baby jack-o'-lantern one where it was a doll and it had the same mouth the jack-o'-lantern had, and it would bite you and all that stuff. Then
you got the gingerbread. This is the only CGI they did, but actually it didn't look too bad. It didn't actually look too bad.
But here's where I'm glad they did this. This is where David's down in the kitchen by himself, and I do like how they did some comedic parts on this one where he's fighting, talking shit to him. Yeah. I love that part. That was pretty clever.
And you can tell there's a part where he's talking to the gingerbread, and there's a line that's obviously cut out because of PG-13 where he says, he's like, "You evil mother," and then they cut off. You know?
Yeah.
So that I can see where they cut that part out. But yeah, it was really
cool. And the part where the gingerbread's about to kill him and stuff, and then he's prepared to die, and that dog eats him.
At first I thought it was going to be the kid that shows up like, hey, is the kid going to eat him? Because that's what I thought it was going to be, because they pulled him earlier and he was about to eat the one gingerbread.
Yeah. I actually thought whenever David had his mouth open, I thought the gingerbread was going to go in his mouth and kill him. Burn him alive inside. But anyways.
Yeah. But anyway, going into this one,
it's later on in the movie. So they attack these people. Basically, the family realizes that they're not safe at the house, so they got to take their chances outside, where all these creatures, from elves to killer snowmen, are outside. So they have to take those chances. Well, meanwhile, while this is happening, the grandmother goes back to her. It shows more her history, like we were talking about earlier.
And she has an ornament that says Krampus, and pretty much as this movie foreshadows later, you realize that
she wants to meet him. She wants to fight
and try to have him basically change his mind to have the family get away.
And she wants to buy some time because she knows that he's going to kill him irregardless. So she tries to buy him time while they're running. And so she meets him, and shit goes down. And then we get to the outside part where they're pretty much fighting elves and everything.
So, and pretty much
this is where we get to the scene. This is where I do kind of complain about a little bit. This kind of shaved some points off this movie was when we get to the outside, we're getting kind of really deep. It's almost pretty much over with. We have 5-6 survivors still left, and this is when you see them die one after another, and they don't go into really creativity with the deaths towards the end because they're pretty much just all getting pulled in the snow, and that's it. And then the next person gets pulled in the snow, and then the next person gets pulled in the snow, and then we're assuming they died. And I thought that was really not.
I laziness. But at the same time, I can see what they were going for. That's why I mentioned earlier about the whole. I mean, take a moment. You're probably going to see more detail about it.
Yeah.
But not going to go into too detail. But I will say that the ending was a surprise.
I love the ending. I love the ending. Good twist ending.
Now we're not gonna go into this because we do want everyone to check it out. Of course,
we've already spoiled enough, and we don't like to try to.
We're not going to get this.
We don't like to mention endings.
Yes. And you'll see another review of.
But anyway,
going into this one, going about the ending, it really was a twist. I was just like, holy shit, yes! It was just good as the gift as the gift ending.
Because I really couldn't see not being defeated that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the grades.
I'm gonna give this probably a 8 out of 10. A really solid horror film with some great. What's more of a comedy. Really great holiday film. Great giving us in the spirit on Christmas.
Yeah.
Great comedy from Adam Scott and the rest of the cast.
Great performances too. Even the kids. The kids. Yeah. The kids. Usually, I'm really sometimes movies with kids kind of annoy me. In a lot of movies, but this worked out really good.
Great direction, great, really wonderful cinematography
from PG-13.
Yeah,
really well,
and a great story too.
Yeah, great story. I'm gonna give mine probably about the same, 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
8 out of 10.
Yep. So that's really our final thoughts. Definitely go check it out. It's just now playing. I mean, it's been playing for a while since December, but if you haven't seen it yet, check it out before the year's over.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll be back in another review coming up soon, and we'll give you your thoughts on that. But until then, hope everyone enjoys Krampus, and we'll see you guys later.